If you want to know how to use matrix, 2x2 matrix to solve simultaneous equation, then I want you to stick to the end of this video, because in this video, I'm going to be treating that in detail. This is just academic mathematics where we make you a mathematics genius. So without further ado, let's go straight to business. So today I want to show you how to use 2x2 matrix to solve a linear equation, a simultaneous linear equation in two variables. Now this is an example of a simultaneous equation. And you know that one of the fundamental ways of solving simultaneous equation is elimination method and substitution method. But there are other methods, and there is one of them I want to show you now, which is called the matrix method. We also have what we call the Cramer's rule, which I'll be showing later. But for now, I want to show you how to use matrix to answer this question. And the main thing you need to know in answering this question is just how to calculate inverse of matrix. And good enough, we have treated inverse of matrix in our last class. So if you have not seen the last class, please go and watch the last video so that you'll be able to know how to calculate inverse of matrix before watching this video. Now let's go. With the understanding that you know how to calculate inverse of matrix, if you are given something like this to solve using matrix method, it's very simple and very easy. The first thing you have to do is to arrange, make sure the equation is well arranged. What do I mean? The variable x are in one line, y following x in one line, then the constant, the one without s and y, after the equal to. So we bring out the coefficients like this, because this equation can be interpreted. We can interpret this equation like this: 2/3, which is the coefficient of these two. Coefficient of y here is -1. Coefficient of y here is what? 4. So these are the coefficients of these variables. If you times it by what? If you times it by x and what? Or rather x first. If you times it by x and y, you will get this, which is what? 13/3. Now, this and this is still the same. Remember, let me just show you on another page. Remember that if I ask you to multiply these two matrices now, what will happen? Row times column, row times column. That means 2 with times s, you have 2s. And -1 with times y, you have -y. Again, 3 with times s, you have 3s. And 4 with times y, you have +4. Can you see you have gotten back this? Then equals to what? 13 equals to 3. So this and this is still the same. Are you get what I'm saying? So that you will not think that there is something new that I've introduced. I only presented this equation in matrix form. Now that we have done that, the next thing you are going to do is to make s and y the subject. This is what I mean. X, y. Once you make it the subject, you are going to get 1 over the determinant of this. Assuming this is matrix A, what is the determinant of this matrix? Let's just call it determinant for now. Then 1 over the determinant of that, are you following now? Times the matrix that we already have. Are you get what I'm saying? 1 over the determinant times this matrix now, which is 2 minus 1. We have not, okay, I think what you need to know is that the procedure is actually simple. The procedure is 1 over determinant of this times the inverse of this. Are you getting what I'm saying? Or rather, the inverse of this times this. Everything I'm explaining here now is that the inverse of this one now times this. And for you to get the inverse of this matrix here, you need to now get 1 over the determinant. That is why I say you need to understand this thing, the inverse of matrix. So 1 over the determinant of this time, we swap these two, of course. For inverse, we normally swap this. So here will be what? 4. Then here will be what? 2. Then we multiply these two with minus. We have 1 and we have what? Minus 3. Then times what? 13 3. So what we are doing here, the whole of this now, is the process of solving for the inverse of this matrix. So if this is matrix A, the inverse of this matrix is what we are solving here. So the formula of getting this xy is simply the inverse of this times this. That is all. The inverse of this times this will give you the value of x and y. That is the procedure. So let's go ahead. Xy is now equals to 1 over the determinant of this matrix here is what? 2 times 4 is 8 minus 1 times 3 is minus 3. Then what do we have here? Of course, for this one now, if we open the bracket here, we have 4 times 13. 4 times 13 will give us what? Will give us 52. So we'll write 52 here, plus 1 times 3 is 3. Row times column. Again, row times column. Minus 3 times minus 13 will give us what? Minus 39. Then 2 times 3 is what? 6. So we have that xy is equals to 1 over, of course, this will give us negative what? 11 times in what? When you add this to, you have what? 55. And when you add 39, minus 39 plus 6 will give us what? Minus 39 plus 6 will give us so that will give us minus 33. Are you with me? Minus 39 plus 6 minus 33. So finally, we have that sy is now equals to what? This going to here will give us what? Minus 55 over 11. And this coming here will give us positive. Minus times minus is plus. So that is 33 over 11. So we can now conclude that our answer, our x, which is the up one, is minus 55 over 11, which will give us what? Minus 5. And our y is equal to 33 divided by 11, which will give us what? 3. So that is the procedure of using matrix to solve linear simultaneous equation in 2 variables. Now, let me say it again. All you need to do is to know how to calculate inverse of matrix. So by the time you arrange it like this, the coefficient of s is 2, this coefficient 1 minus 1, 3, 4. Then xy, 13, 3, which I've explained that this and this is the same. Now the next thing is to find the value of x and y. And the value of x and y is simply the inverse of this one times this. So everything we are doing here now is solving for the inverse of this. How do you solve for the inverse of this? The inverse of this is simply 1 over the determinant of this matrix. Then you swap these two, which I showed you this in our last class. You swap these two, 4 will come up, 2 will come down. You multiply these two with negatives, minus. You have minus times minus plus, minus times 13 over 3. So, and the determinant of this is simply 2 times 4, 8 minus 3 times 1 minus 3. So, here will give us minus 11. Are you with me? Then this is the multiplication of this and this will give us this. How? Row times column, row times column. 4 times 13, 52. Plus 1 times 3, 3. Minus 3 times 13, 39. Plus 2 times 3, 6. You add up, you get these two. So when you open the bracket, you get this. This divided by this, minus 5 and 3. Okay, let's move on. Now, the same thing we have here. With the first example, of course, you know what we follow. So this is simply 8x minus y equals to 1. So you are advised to arrange this one properly, because if you write 2y here now plus 6s, you will notice that x and y will be in one line. No. So instead, let's start with 6x so that it will be well arranged. 6s followed by what? Plus 2y, then followed by what? 9. So it is at this stage that you bring out their coefficients, which is what? 8, 6, minus 1 and 2. Are you following now? Times what? xy must be equals to what? 1 over 9. Or rather, 1 9, not 1 over 9. Are you with me? Now, how do we now find x? Xy is now the inverse. Let me even write it better here. 6, 8 minus 1, 2, the inverse of this times this. That is what I was trying to explain to you in our first question. The inverse of this one times this will give you this xy. So what is the inverse of this? The inverse of this is simply, first you get the determinant. What is the determinant? 8 times 2 is what? 16. Minus 1 times 6 is minus 6. That is the determinant. Then times, what do? We swap this. We bring 2 here and we'll bring 8 here. We multiply these 2 with minus. We have 1 and we have minus 6. Can you see it now? Times what? 1 over what? 9. So therefore we say that sy is equals to what? 1 over this time, this is plus, which will give me 22. 22 bracket 2 times 1, row times column. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 times 9 is 9, minus 6 times 1, minus 6, plus 8 times 9 will give me what? 8 times 9 is 72. Are you following now? So what do we do next? We input 1 over 22 inside. We input 1 over what? 22 inside. This is what I mean now. So we have xy is equals to, this plus this is what? 11. That is 11 times 1 over 22. That is 11 over 22. Followed by what? 72 minus 6 will give us what? 66. That is 66 over 22. Therefore, what is the final answer? X is simply equals to 11 over 22, which is equals to what? 1 over 2. And y is equals to 66 over 22, which is equals to what? 3, of course. Are you following now? So that is the value of x and y. That is the value of x and y. So it's a simple procedure. Just get the inverse of their coefficient times the constant, and you get your value. Okay, we'll solve one more for this class. Now, let's conclude this class by solving this. Now, this one is even easier than the ones we have done before, in the sense that this one they've already presented it in matrix form. So all we need to do is just go ahead and solve. But this question now, you can solve it in a number of ways. You can decide to multiply it and bring it back in the equation form, the other form, and then use any method you like. But since we are using matrix method, it's already part of it is already well presented. So all we need to do now is that to find xy, we just start by saying that xy is now equals to what? 4, inverse of 4, 5, 7 minus 4. The inverse of this times minus 1 over what? 41. That is the value of xy. And so the inverse of this is what we are going to solve for now. So we have xy is equals to, inverse of this means 1 over what? 1 over 4 times minus 4 is what? Minus 16. Minus 5 times 7 is what? Minus 35. That is the determinant. The determinant times, we swap these two. We have minus 4 here, we have 4 here. Multiply these two with minus, we have 5 here, we have minus 7 here. Times in what? Minus 1 over what? 41. Can you see? Interesting procedure. Xy is equals to what? What do we have now? We are getting that minus 16 minus what? 35 will give us what? Will give us minus what? 51 times row times column. Let's times this. Minus 4 times 1, 4. Plus 5 times 41 will give us what? 5 times 41 will give us 20 what? 205. Then minus 7 times minus 1, row times column again, will give us 7. Then we have plus 4 times 41. 4 times 4 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is what? 16. Are you following now? So we have that xy is actually equals to 1 over minus 51 into what? This is 209, and this is what? Add what here? 7 here. You have 11. That is 1, carry 1, 7, 1. Are you following now? So that is what we're going to get. So what do we now do now in order to finish up this? So the next thing we are expected to do is to put in the value inside and see if 51 can go 209. Can 51 go 209? No. 51 cannot go 209. 51 cannot go 209. Wait, there is a mistake here. I've made a mistake here. This time this is plus. That is plus 35. Minus 16 plus 35. Minus times minus. So I have minus 16 plus 35. That is another way of saying 35 minus what? 16. That will give us what? 19. So here is actually 19. Please take note. Here is 19, not 51. This is 19, 19, and this is 19, 19. Sorry for that. It's part of error, it's part of learning. Okay, so xy is now equals to what? Let's see. And it's not minus 19, it's actually plus 19, because this time this is positive. So let's check now. 209 divided by what? 19. That will give us 11. So we have 209 over 19, and we have 171 over what? 19. So we conclude that S is equals to what? 209 divided by 19 is 11, and Y is equals to what? 171 divided by what? 19. That is also what? 9. So these are the two values of X and Y. And this brings us to the end of this class. So make sure you watch the video again in order to understand and internalize the process. Please make sure you are following us on our YouTube. If you have not subscribed, go and subscribe now. Just Academy Mathematics is the handle. Facebook, Just Academy Mathematics. And if you need a one-on-one tutorial, we have more than enough teachers to help you teach you one-on-one at a very affordable rate. So reach us via the WhatsApp contact showing on the screen. Thank you. See you in our next class. In our next class, very important, I'm going to be teaching you 3x3 matrix inverse. Thank you.